I used to live with a family who would give mustard as a punishment when I was little.
What kinds of things did they put mustard on as a punishment for you?
Oatmeal.
They put mustard on your oatmeal.
Yeah, which is really gross.
What you got there, Bethany?
A turkey sandwich.
Are you sharing your mother's sandwich?
Yep.
So what's on the sandwich?
Turkey. Cheese.
No cheese.
Oh. Turkey. Arugula.
Yes, my absolute favorite lettuce.
Did you put some kind of herb in it?
I put deli mustard. In fact, that mustard was sent to us by one of our wonderful subscribers. And I love that mustard. But tell me, do you love mustard?
Not really, but I'm all grown up now.
You're all grown up now?
Yeah.
So what is the history with you and mustard? Why you don't like mustard?
So the history of it is I used to live with a family who would give mustard as a punishment when I was little.
They gave you mustard as a punishment.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it? What kinds
No.
of things did they put mustard on as a punishment for you?
Oatmeal.
They put mustard on your oatmeal.
Yeah, which is really gross. And
Bethany, I'm sorry that happened to you. What kind of, that's inappropriate, right?
yeah.
Yeah, we don't use food as a punishment like that. And to put something like mustard on your breakfast oatmeal, that's not how we punish children. But I'm glad that you got over it.
Yeah.
And you haven't had mustard since until just now today. And to be honest, I was sharing my sandwich with you, and to be honest, I kind of had forgotten about that until I saw the look on your face after the first bite, and I'm like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have given you mustard. But you know that I'm not punishing you, right?
Right.
I would never do that, Bethany. I would never do that, and I'm very, very sorry that happened to you. But it's okay. We forgive, right?
Yep.
We forgive. We've moved on.
Yep.
It's kind of a funny story at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, carry on. I'm going to go enjoy my other half a sandwich since
Okay.
we're sharing.
Mm-hmm.
You sure you're okay with it?
Yep.
All right.
That was nice of one of our subscribers to send that to us.
It was. It's delicious mustard. I really enjoy it.
This is your kind of taste.
Yes. Are you going to give us your best mustard face, Bethany? This is the grossest thing I've ever tasted. Brings back bad memories. Mustard face of all time. Do I ever wish I had the camera rolling when you had taken that first bite? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, you enjoy that.
All right.
All right. So, Bethany, we're talking about discipline.
Yes.
That's maybe not quite appropriate or misguided.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that you remember that you'd want to share? You don't have to unless you feel like you want to share it. Is there anything else?
Yes, I could share some of that. So
Is it embarrassing to you or not? It shouldn't be.
So the family that I lived with used to put me in a cold bath when I was little as a punishment that they do.
You would have an accident at night sometimes because you were very little.
Yeah.
And you had just come. You were only 7 years old. You had come from Thailand.
Yes, to the U.S.
And you did not know them, right?
Yeah.
And that's a common behavior that kids do a lot of times when they're adopted, especially as older children.
Yeah.
That's very, very common. We've seen that before in our home, haven't we?
Yes.
And so what did they do that when they discovered it at night or in the daytime?
Like when, as soon as I woke up, they would check my bed.
Okay.
And then
So in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They checked your bed,
Yes.
and then if you had an accident, then
And they would just put me in the bath and make the water cold when they turn it on.
they made the water cold on purpose.
Yeah.
Ay,
And it was
So-
traumatizing.
Yeah, well, I can imagine. And so we were talking about it too. And so after this discipline, did they tell you that they loved you and they just wanted you to correct your behavior?
Yeah.
So that part is good, right?
Right.
And so I think that they probably meant well, right?
Right.
But it was misguided and inappropriate discipline, which I'm also sorry happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can decide if you want to share this, even though we're recording it. You can change your mind and decide that you don't want it to be, Dad can not show it if you don't want it to, okay?
Well, I'm sure that they don't really know, our friends don't know, like, a lot about, like, what happened.
No, about your life previous?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome to share as much of that as you'd like, but you certainly don't have to.
I don't mind sharing.
You don't mind sharing?
I'm open for that.
You're hoping to share?
I said I'm open to sharing.
Oh, you're open to sharing. Oh, okay. That's good. Well, anytime you want to do that, all you have to do is let us know, and we'll be happy to do that. I think now that you're 19 years old, you're out of high school,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So it's your story and your life and your YouTube channel. If you want to share something, you're welcome to do that.
And like what you said, when kids, a lot of kids, like when they come to as older kids to a new family, they get traumatized and they don't know who they're with.
Right. And so sometimes their behavior might be a little off whack, huh?
Yeah.
We've seen that, haven't we?
Yep.
And so you just kind of have to wait it out and be patient and love them through it, right?
Right.
I hope we did that for you, Bethany, when you came home.
You did.
That's good. We don't know everything, and a lot of the things we've had to learn as we went along. But you had kind of a rough start here too. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You did. You had a hard time bonding with us. Do you remember that?
A little bit.
Yeah, and you had some interesting behaviors. I won't share what they are. If you remember them and want to share, you can do that.
We don't have to
Get into all the details.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. No, but you've grown out of all that stuff now. You're a good kid, Bethany. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're my daughter.
Yeah.
And I think you're where you're supposed to be. We knew about you from the time you were 3 years old. You knew that story, right?
Right.
And then we were told no, that we couldn't adopt you. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Because we were too old and we had too many kids way back then. So Thailand turned us down. Right?
Right.
And then you ended up with that other family.
Yep.
And then that didn't work out.
And so was it you that reconsidered, or
Well, we would have taken you from the get-go. There was no reconsidering. What happened is the adoption agency, when it didn't work out with the other family, the adoption agency reached out to us because we had our application on file with you when you were 3 years old. So we got the call. That's how we got the call. Is that funny?
Yep.
I mean, you had to take a long and bumpy road to get home, but at least you got here, right?
Right.
So you think we're too old and have too many kids to take care of you?
No.
Kind of all worked out the way it was supposed to, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, kind of like Arnie. And kind of like sometimes, you know what I say about infertility? Sometimes I say that Dad and I were given the gift of infertility. Because if we didn't have to go through that and not be able to have more kids after Joel, then you wouldn't be here. And I think you're supposed to be here. Right?
Right.
Because you're my daughter. And I love you.
I love you.
And I can't imagine not having you around. So it all worked out. It's interesting how that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, I was sort of bored at the other family.
You were bored there?
Because I didn't really have, there weren't as many kids there.
And you didn't have anybody, there were no blind kids, right?
Right.
And you guys were homeschooled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there was no other kids. And you're a major social butterfly, so that really isn't the best. It's not, there's nothing against homeschooling. I admire homeschool families, but it probably wasn't the best situation for you under the circumstances. Do you like school better or homeschool better?
I like school better.
You like school better? Well, that's good. That's good. All worked out.
Yep. And when the family had mentioned you guys, I was excited. And I heard I'd listened to you guys through some kind of recording.
Yeah, we did send because we didn't have this, these smartphones and things at that point.
No
and
YouTube
so
back then.
well, I don't know. There probably was YouTube, but we didn't know anything about it. So we didn't. We sent recordings of our voices, right? So you could get used to us, and we sent you little gifts and things. I think, if I remember right. But they had told you about us as soon as we got approved. Actually, it was before we got approved, right?
Right.
And so then you had to wait a long time while we had our home study and all that stuff. It seemed like forever. But
were you able to reach, you and Dad, were you guys able to reach out to that family?
yes, we were, some. We were. We communicated back and forth, and they would tell us things about you and that sort of thing. Not too much of that. Mostly we went through an agency,
Yeah.
But the one thing I remember is when it started taking too long, they started to get real nervous because they were wanting to move on, I think. So we were just like, just be patient. It's a long process, right? You have to have all the background checks and everything like that. And it really is a long process. But it all worked out.
Yep.
Okay.
And then when you guys got me, we had to stay in like a hotel.
We did.
And I was anxious to go home.
You were very anxious, and you were talking to all the kids on the phone like every 5 minutes. You were all about talking to them on the phone. You were very excited to get here. It didn't take too long, though. We had to stay there for about 2 weeks. All the other kids stayed at home with some friends of ours, and we didn't know how long we were going to be gone.
Uh-huh.
So, Bethany, I think we have a fly in our kitchen. I'm sitting here, and I swear I keep seeing a fly go past your face. There he is again. Too funny. But we got you, and then we were able to come home. We got our permission to come home. That has to do with the Interstate Compact Agreement. You have to, in order to transport a child across state lines, you have to have both states have to have the paperwork in place, and both states have to give permission for the child to cross state lines.
We had to do that in our family.
We've had to do that a few times, yes. Yep. So it's all for kids' safety. Yep. Got anything else?
I think that's all.
Is that all for now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe as time goes on, we'll share more and more.
Yep.
All right.
Every season lives outside of status quo.